a lot of times people get a lot of these different types of objections because they project these type of objections in their own thinking that they're going to get them before they even start the call. So the first thing, you have to show up to the call basically detached from the outcome of the call.
Okay.
Really focus mainly on diagnosing people's pains, their problems, frustrations, where they're currently at, their desired outcomes.
Okay.
Right? What may be holding them back from getting to those desired outcomes? Why do they want to get to those desired outcomes? What's their level of commitment and sense of urgency of getting to that outcome and getting that particular problem solved? Right? If you really focus mainly on those elements, a lot of times you won't get as many objections.
Do it. I have to check. Are we live?
Alrighty.
We live, people.
Yep, we live.
If y'all chiming into the live stream, make sure you drop a comment, please, ladies and gents. Look at Melissa. Hey, Melissa.
What's going on, Melissa?
If y'all hopping on, make sure to drop a comment. Make sure to drop a comment. I see y'all hopping on. Good deal. Guys, if y'all hopping on, make sure y'all can drop a comment, please, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the way StreamYard is. We don't know if you own unless you drop a comment for some reason.
Hello.
Hey. Ish though said hello.
She said, I hope you had a great day today. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Good stuff. Well, welcome, y'all. Welcome to the live stream. So glad to have y'all on this evening. So glad to have y'all on this evening. I'm going to turn our little tunes down because we was jamming. But everybody, thank you for tuning into the live stream. And also, we want to welcome again, like we always do. Y'all know we always on here. I want to welcome Gerald Bass, and I also want to welcome Antonio Millhouse too, as well, on this live stream this evening. So, welcome, guys. Welcome. And just share a little bit about our vision and what we're trying to accomplish. Because I know, again, every single week it's new people joining. So we have to reiterate the reason why we're doing this. So Gerald, go ahead and tell them a little bit about our vision and our mission.
Yep. So hello to the 1% CEOs out there. My name is Gerald Bass once again, actually the founder of the Rise of the 1%. And we've been around about 5.5 years now. And our focus right now is primarily focusing on assisting Black coaches, consultants, course creators, and service providers. We're putting systems in place online to consistently pad their calendar with qualified appointments. We also work with many of our clients in terms of their sales processes, in terms of making sure large percentages of those leads or appointments are actually converting over to high-value clients. And we also are going to be working with our clients moving forward with building out what we call commission-based sales teams. And we typically work with Black entrepreneurs in the $2,000 to $10,000 a month range who want to scale and grow to that $20,000 to $50,000 a month plus level without paid ads. And our mission over the next 3 years or less is to create $1 billion in success stories amongst Black entrepreneurs.
Sweet.
That's big.
I know.
1 billion with a B.
Yeah, with a B. I don't know if y'all know that. It's 1 billion with a B, honey, not the million, but the B.
Right.
Excellent. So yeah, let's get into this topic because this is something that again a lot of people are not talking about, but I know we've talked about it in the past. But Gerald, just share, and I know, and keep in mind, guys, I know that he knows for sure. Him and Antonio know for sure because they do this on a regular. They do this on a daily basis, so they understand exactly what this topic is about tonight on this live stream. So, Gerald, just share a little bit of information about like the objections that you hear. I know this probably is going to be hilarious to some of y'all. I know it's gonna be funny to some of y'all with some of the things that people say on some of these calls. But Gerald, just share a little bit about like objections and stuff like that when it comes to like doing like your sales calls and stuff for your business.
Yeah. So I was saying today's time, I don't hear as many objections as I used to hear because the way that our process is actually set up, a lot of objections is actually handled at the top end of our sales process. But what I will say, objections that I have heard over the years have been, for one, at times I have to think about it. At times, before we had our process set up the way it is now, we used to hear a whole lot more of, let me talk to my spouse about it or business partner about it. We don't hear it as much now because the way that our process is set up, but we used to hear that a lot. We've heard at times, I've invested into these type programs or products and services before, and I didn't get the results that I was looking for, right? We've heard that. We have heard in the past, I don't hear it much today, but I've heard it in the past, I got to pray about it. Yeah, I've heard that at times. And I will also say, I've heard as well, do you all offer any type of guarantees? Right? I've heard that. And then one of the biggest ones, I'm pretty sure different entrepreneurs get is, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Right. Which is, we don't get that a whole lot these days.
Right.
Because the way that our process has been refined over time. But, you'll still get it here and there.
Okay. So just share a little bit of information about like how like entrepreneurs can like navigate through those type of objections and stuff like that. Because I know, of course, you guys have probably heard like the exact same thing that Gerald has heard like in the past and stuff like that. So Gerald, just explain a little bit of how can they like navigate through all that. Because sometimes with some people it gets discouraging to them in regards to their business and stuff like that. So share a little information about that.
Yeah, one thing, it really starts with mindset. A lot of times people get a lot of these different types of objections because they project these type of objections in their own thinking that they're going to get them before they even start the call. So the first thing, you have to show up to the call, basically detach from the outcome of the call.
Okay.
Really focus mainly on diagnosing people's pains, their problems, frustrations, where they're currently at, their desired outcomes.
Okay.
Right? What may be holding them back from getting to those desired outcomes? Why do they want to get to those desired outcomes? What's their level of commitment and sense of urgency of getting to that outcome and getting that particular problem solved? Right? If you really focus mainly on those elements, a lot of times you won't get as many objections at the end of the call.
Okay.
Another thing as well, and I get into how to handle the objections, but another thing as well is when you do calls, you want to attentively really be listening to the prospect, because at times an objection will come up way in the beginning of the call that you may missed over. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for instance, you're doing a sales call and you hear the person mention at the top of the call that they have a wife or a husband or a business partner, right?
Yeah.
You hear it at the top of the sales call. then you want to address that right then and there.
Right.
Okay.
So pretty much what you'll want to do is, let's say the prospect name was John, and John said that they had some type of business partner. You'll want to ask them about that. Like, so let me ask you this, John. I know you say you have a business partner. Is this something, being that we was able to help you solve XYZ problem, is this something that you will need to get a sign off for your business partner on, or is this something you can pretty much move forward without any type of sign off from your business partner? And if they say that they're going to need a sign off from their business partner, then what you want to do is just go on and end the call, right?
Okay.
Go on and pretty much set up another call when they actually can get their business partner on.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't make sense to go through a full-fledged sales call, and then at the end they're going to tell you they're going to have to speak it over with a business partner or a wife or a husband or whatever the case may be. And then when you mention what the investment is, they're going to throw that at you.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to make it. They're not going to make a decision to move forward anyway. So you might as well just end the call and schedule another call when they actually have the partner or the spouse on the call. So you have to be listening attentively throughout the call for these type of things, so that you don't waste your time on the entire call and it comes up at the end. Or if they mention that they're in the process of purchasing a new home right now, right?
Yeah.
Or they're about to get ready to go on a vacation. They mentioned that somewhere at the top of the call, then you want to address that. Hey, John, I know you mentioned that you're about to get ready to purchase a new home.
Yeah.
Is this something that you're going to be able to move forward now, or pretty much after you purchase your new home once you settle in, right? Or I know I heard you mention, John, that you're looking to go on a vacation in 2 to 3 days. Is this something you are prepared to do right now, or is this something you may want to revisit once you get back from your vacation to be settled in from that? So if you hear like those type of triggers, I should say, right, or responses in the beginning of the sales process, go on and address them. And being that they say this is not something they'll be able to move forward at this time because they got these different things going on, or they need someone else to be able to help them make a decision, and you just want to set up another call.
Gotcha.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now I could get into how you respond to some of those other objections that I mentioned, but is that making sense to everybody though so far?
So far, y'all, is that making sense, y'all?
Yeah, drop a comment below. Let us know.
Yeah, drop a comment. Somebody said, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah." Yeah, they said that it's making sense to them so far. Everybody's that making sense to y'all. Drop a comment below. Of course, like, yeah, that's a StreamYard thing. We don't know that y'all on. Okay, cool. Yeah, they got it. They got it. Good deal. Because that's interesting that you say that. How important active listening actually is.
Right.
Yeah.
To be able to understand, like, you really trying to diagnose the problem like right away, just similar to what a doctor does when you go to the doctor, to listen what the patient says before you decide to even try to attempt to make an assumption that they would be a good fit for you to work with anyway. But yeah, another thing too, and I know that you've mentioned this in the past, and this is a good one. Talking to the right people is important too as well. Understanding your market, and we can't stress this enough. And then Jer has mentioned it so many times, but I know y'all are new. Some of y'all are new to the group, but that knowing your niche and who you talking to, that's key too.
Right.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Somebody says yes. Yeah, absolutely. So guys, just so what are some things like as far as, and then you mentioned this at the top of the live stream in regards to mindset. So as far as like for Black entrepreneurs, like what type of like mindset should a person like have? Like, what are some things that they can do to like grow like mindset wise to be able to navigate through all of those different type of challenges?
Yeah, for one, you have to always release emotional baggage from the day before.
Okay.
right? So, for instance, if you had like a bad day the day before,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you had things in your personal life didn't go right, or you didn't make any sales the day before, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, you have to show up the next day. You have to release all that emotional baggage when it
Okay.
comes to sales. You have to
Okay.
show up in a tranquil state,
Okay.
right? In a tranquil state. And you have to show up with a positive mental attitude. We call it PMA. Like,
Okay.
you got to be positive, right? And you got to have a great attitude. You got to have great enthusiasm, great energy, excitement,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you got to be sharp as a tack. And what I mean by that is you got to be an expert, of course, in your field, right?
Okay.
So those are some things you really want to keep in mind. And another thing too, when it comes to like sales,
Yeah.
you have to be at peak state every day. So you got to get a great amount of hours of sleep. And I also advise you to have some type of morning success ritual, which I've spoken about that in the past. I'm not sure if I've spoken about that on the lives in here before. But you got to have a morning success ritual. So very quickly, my morning success ritual is, I get up in the morning, I do prayer in the morning. After I get myself, situated from a grooming perspective, I go straight to the gym. I work out 45 minutes to an hour, Monday through Saturday, and even sometimes on Sundays, I go for a run or whatever the case may be. So I do that. And typically when I'm in the gym, like a lot of people, when they go to the gym, they may not be listening to anything or they're listening to music. I very seldom listen to music in the gym. Very seldom. Every now and then I listen here and there, right? But most of the time I'm learning while I'm working out. So a lot of people say they don't have time to learn. So that's a perfect time to be studying sales.
Yeah.
Be listening to podcasts on sales, YouTube videos on sales. If you're in some type of course or program, if you're in our program, high level program, you can be listening to the sales training that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the time to be learning. Right. So that's one thing I would say. And when I come from the gym, typically myself, I come back to the house. I drink a protein shake because I actually intermittent fast. I don't eat a big meal until 1 p.m. every day.
Okay.
Because I don't like to be sluggish early in the morning. So I drink a protein shake, eat fruit, eat a protein bar, shower. And then from there, pretty much, I come to the office. And when I get to the office, normally I already do personal development. So while I'm riding in my car, I'm listening to something to strengthen my mind. So when I get to the office, pretty much I just get into reviewing my goals. And then, once I'm done with that, I get into the day, which a lot of times for us is hopping into calls with potential clients. And we usually start around 9 a.m. Right? So that's pretty much how it works. But like I say, to be a peak performer in terms of like sales, those are the type of things you really want to have in place.
It's good, y'all. I hope y'all writing this down. If y'all not writing this down, I don't know what y'all doing. If y'all writing it down, I don't know what y'all doing. He just gave y'all the blueprint. I don't know what is going on with y'all if y'all ain't wrote that down.
And
I don't know what's going on.
Speak on this very quickly in terms of stamina when it comes to like sales, right? Because we've had days where we've had calls back to back to back to back to back to back.
Right? I know.
And yeah, I'm talking about 45-minute calls to an hour, right? Strategy session. So one thing I would say is like what I do for stamina is typically when we have calls back to back to back to back to back like that, what I do is like after each call, I take like a 10 to 15 minute break. So I take a walk right outside, get some fresh air. Like, and then when I'm done with that, I come back in and knock out the next call, and I do the same thing. And I take an hour lunch that day as well, most of the time, right? So I eat lunch around 1 o'clock. After I'm done with eating lunch, I study, right? I read or I listen to something educational for that whole hour, then get back into it, right? So I would say that helps with stamina as well in terms of pushing through a great amount of calls throughout the day.
That's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. I know y'all getting value from this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm just about to say. They ain't getting no value. I don't know what y'all doing.
Right. But like one thing I will say, just to piggyback on what Gerald said, I like how he basically, laid out the blueprint in terms of, you want to make sure, of course, when you're doing sales, you always want to make sure that your energy, you performing at a high level every day, because that's very important. Because like you always say, going back with that morning success ritual consistently, like you're like, when it comes to like taking it in early, like you always say, sleep is discipline. And you really have to be very disciplined to be able to be productive the next day and not just sluggish, and that's something too that I had to learn. And I'm still learning now, what I'm saying, because I always say I'm a night owl, but you have to really change these things and really discipline yourself in the process, because over time, when you really get enough rest that you need and you're being able to go ahead with that work day, you'll be able to be more productive and not sluggish and dragging and just being slouchy, so you can really perform at a more high level. So I'm glad that Gerald shared that, because a lot of times when it comes to sales, most people don't really hit on that when it comes to your health and you're getting your rest that you need. Most people just say, well, you need to do this, the how-tos and this, but it's more to that. And that's how you're going to be able to perform at a high level once you really have your health intact. You're getting the necessary sleep that you need to perform at a high level. So I'm glad that Gerald hit on that, because most people don't know that. So you heard it here.
Right.
So
Y'all gonna know now.
right.
You know it now. Y'all know it now. If y'all getting value, y'all better make sure y'all drop some comments and show us some love too. If y'all
Drop some
haven't already
ones if
done
you
so,
want
yeah,
value.
drop some ones. Drop some ones down there if y'all getting some value. If you learned something today too, drop some ones too.
Absolutely.
Drop some ones too. Antonio put his ones in there. Drop some ones if you got some value. Drop some ones if you learned something today. Let's see if you learned something.
All right.
Excellent. But also, guys, and y'all hit on a very, very good point. And Gerald mentioned this too as well. Guys, he said it already. It's a structure that you have to have. He mentioned that on the top of the call. So when you are doing these type of sales calls and stuff like that, and you are working with different clients and stuff like that, or potential clients, you have to have some type of structure. He mentioned that too several times. So just to let you guys know that it has to be some type of structure. Like, for example, structure your days. This is something that he teach us. Structure your days. Structure your days on your calendar. I'm telling y'all this. It helps tremendously. Because if not, you're going to get lost. What I mean by that is schedule stuff. If they not in your schedule, they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait. If they ain't in your schedule, they're going to have to wait. Put it on your calendar so you can visually see what's going on. You'll be like, this makes sense. Or when people are booking calls, make sure you're using a calendar booking software to be able to track these things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because even with our appointment setting team, I actually assisted them with structuring out the day.
Yeah.
So pretty much the first couple of hours a day after morning success ritual, just focusing on prospecting primarily on social media.
Right.
Direct outreach. Right. Which is, by the way, you all, we actually have a new automated process we are putting in place to help out with outreach on Facebook. Wow. That I'll be sharing some information on later on. Of course, our high level clients want to know about it first over this next week or so. But yeah, we've been using it and it's definitely real effective in terms of booking qualified appointments literally daily. Right? mostly automated with outreach
Wow.
on Facebook. So that's something I wanted to speak on as well. But what I will say is, the first couple of days, couple of hours of the day, pretty much
Yeah.
just focusing primarily on like prospecting on social media, then taking a couple of hours to make phone calls. That's what our appointment
Yeah.
setting team does as well, in terms of like dialing our CRM. So we've ran YouTube ads. So pretty much leads coming in from the YouTube ads, dialing them to also no sales, meaning people that didn't close, to no shows, like taking a couple of hours to dial them, having a break for lunch. We have a sales team call as well daily, and then having those afternoons just to do like follow-ups primarily. But all this is structured out, and then have your time to eat dinner and stuff and spend time with your family and stuff. But yeah, you got to structure your days though.
Yeah, that's very key, because I know you always share this with us, plan your day a day ahead.
Right.
Because a lot of times when your day is really not laid out, the day before, a lot of times you tend to be all over the place. There's no particular structure, so you just find yourself just all over the place, not really being productive. So it's very important to like really lay out your day the day before. So yeah,
Right.
That's very key. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. This is some great stuff, man.
I know, right? I don't know what y'all doing. If y'all ain't getting value, I don't know what y'all doing.
And I'm gonna tell you this: if you want to become great at like sales, right, which is you should want to be if you really want to grow a successful business.
Yeah.
But you're not always gonna be the main salesperson. Eventually, hire a sales team, but it starts from you first.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta master the craft.
Yeah.
Right. So, for instance, in our high level program, I have a whole training on doing sales. Right. Our 6-figure high level sales training on pretty much how to convert qualified leads over to high value clients. And our clients that have like really scaled their business up to like 20,000 a month plus, right? They literally have immersed themselves in our sales training in the Rise of the 1% high level program. They immerse themselves in it. Not just going through it like one time, like really immerse themselves in it. And which is the same thing I've done over the years. I immersed myself in really learning the craft and also getting a lot of experience by doing a whole lot of calls. That's how you become great at it as well. Right? And I know people have like this stigma towards sales or whatever the case may be. They don't want to be like this sleazy salesperson, which is you don't want to be that. But if you have a product or service that really brings value to people within this world, it can really help people solve problems and experience transformation and get results, you have a moral obligation. This is in the Bible, but by someone that was in the Bible.
Yeah.
Right? King Solomon. You have a moral obligation to sell it to as many people as possible. Right? It's not stated in that exact text, but just know that's from the words of King Solomon, who pretty much was the richest man to ever live. Right? Which is a book called that, by the way, as well. If you've never read it, I recommend reading it. It's based off the book of Proverbs in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's how you really have to start to look at it. And you'll never really grow a real big business like 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures plus without sales.
True.
You have this great product or service, but if no one is purchasing it,
right,
you're not going to really be able to grow a business. You're not going to really be able to serve people with your product or service, right? You're not going to be able to hire a team and hire staff and make your clients' experiences better if you don't have a lot of capital.
That's true.
Make those investments that need to be made to make your product or service and your company better. And even just having a better lifestyle as a whole yourself.
Yeah.
And be a full-time entrepreneur. So you have to get great at the craft. And then eventually, over time, you can start to, as well, hire up and train a sales team.
Yep.
Yeah, Richest Man in Babylon is a great read as well. Absolutely. Yep.
Excellent. And also, too, and I think we talked about this actually on the last live or the live before. When it comes to like objections and stuff like that, and you mentioned this too prior lives, but I know some people probably wasn't on the prior live. When it comes to that, y'all, you got to have your systems in place too. That's key too. And Joe actually mentioned that already, is that you have to have those pre-selling mechanisms in place too as well. So by the time they get on the call with you, then you won't be hearing a lot of that nonsense.
Right. Yeah. If you got a pre-selling mechanism, that's why we talked about it in previous lives. Like if you have a pre-selling mechanism, which is like a value video or a case study video, or just some type of content that they can actually consume before getting on an actual sales call with you, that will pretty much, talk about problems they may be experiencing, and you giving some solutions, showing some case studies and testimonials and results of your product or service helping people. If they can see that before the sales call, a lot of times you don't really have to be this hard closer on the sales call, because the pre-selling mechanism pretty much already pre-sell them prior to you doing the sales call. That's why it's great to have that in place.
Most definitely. Great
stuff. If y'all get value, make sure y'all drop them ones down.
Absolutely. And make sure y'all hit that love too. Hit that love or that like as well. Give us some engagement on here so more people in this Facebook group as well that's not on here can actually see the live stream, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely.
Hit the ones.
So what I can talk about very quickly is those objections that we talked about that some people may get as they are at the end of sales calls. I could talk about those and how you can respond to some of them, being that you get them. Right, so I see some ones. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So the let me think about it objection. Normally how we address that pretty much is, so John, tell me this, what do you need to think about? Right? Like, what do you need to think about? And let them tell you whatever. And after that, say, well, John, pretty much that's why, I take the time on these calls to pretty much be able to answer any questions that you may have. So what questions do you have at this time? What have I not clearly answered for you on this call at this time? Let them tell you. Because a lot of times, let me think about it, pretty much is just they don't have certainty that you're really going to help them solve the problem.
Okay.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you all know that up front. Take this from someone who's done hundreds, probably close to over 1,000 sales calls now. Like, it's smoke and mirrors. If you can let me think about it, that means pretty much they just don't have the certainty that you're really going to help them solve the problem. They don't see the value. Or they don't really see how your product or service really can help them solve the problem. So it's smoke and mirrors.
Wow.
That's real.
Wow.
Absolutely. So let's say, for instance, they don't really uncover that they're going to need to get approval from a spouse, right? Or a business partner to be able to make their decisions. Let's say they never uncover that. They don't uncover that if you did a discovery call. They don't really uncover that nowhere as you're going through the strategy session call, the sales call, but they bring it up at the end. That's why, if you get this, that's why it's very good to make sure you're taking notes throughout the entire sales call of everything they told you is their pains, right, that they're experiencing at this time, their problems and frustrations, and their desired outcomes. Because at times at the end of the call, you can always revisit that, bring that back up to them.
Okay.
Right, when they give you certain objections. So let's say, for instance, you're doing business to business, just using this as an example. And they say, well, hey, Gerald, sounds great, but I got to run this by my spouse before I'm able to make a decision. I say, John, perfectly understandable. You know, when I have a significant other or what have you at times in the past, I've at times ran things by him as well. I can understand that. But John, just in this call just now, you just told me that you don't even really have time to even spend with your spouse because you always, working in the business. You always, traveling around speaking on stages. So, tell me this, John. I mean, is this something you really want to do? Or if it's no, that's perfectly fine. Just tell me, where should we go from here, John?
You took it away.
Absolutely. We call that the universal algorithm. So
okay.
I'm giving you all like literally a multi-million-dollar jewel on here, right? For some
y'all playing games,
tuning into this live. That's called a universal.
Oh man!
When you take things away from people, they're more inclined to want it more.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy,
right?
But it makes sense. But it is crazy though.
And I know it's a little choppy. I'm not on the sales call, but I'm just letting you all know, like, yeah, that's the way you do it. You basically can take things that John or Alex or whoever the person's name is, you can take things that they just said to you in the sales call that was causing them pain, desired outcomes that they want. You can pretty much bring that back up, right? Remind them of what they just told you on the call. And then pretty much from there say, is that something you were serious about, John? Or if it's no, that's perfectly fine. You can just tell me, John. Go from here.
Brilliant.
Right? That's it. So that's one way you can handle that.
Yeah. That's brilliant, bro.
And at times, if they just keep saying, I got to talk to my spouse, business partner, I got to talk to my spouse, business partner, what you can do is, it's a couple of things you could do. One, we teach our clients, you could go for what we call a deposit, right? Pretty much just get them to put a deposit down to lock in a price, pretty much that you just stated on the call, right? So pretty much just letting them know, John, that's perfectly fine. Okay, I understand. You got to go talk to your spouse, right? So let's do this here, John. How about we just have you put down a deposit to be able to lock in the price, right? Or your savings that we just spoke about on this call today. And what we could do is, let's schedule a call. You schedule a call within 24 to 48 hours with them. And let's hop back on the call. And being you're ready to move forward, we'll just collect the balance. We'll go on and get you moving forward to getting XYZ results. Right? Or being that you can't move forward, John, I just send that money back over to you. Right? So it's basically a refundable deposit.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you can do as well. And it works. Believe me.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all better be listening to him because, shoot, they know. They know. They know. If you're not listening to him, yeah, I don't know what y'all doing because they know.
Exactly. And I'm going to say this real quick before Gerald, share some more of the objections and stuff and how to handle them. One thing I can tell you about Gerald, man, is like This dude is a savage when it comes to really studying sales. Like on any topic, whatever it is that he want to learn, he's gonna study it. And like I told him, like I see a difference in like your closing, like it's on another level. So it's like at times when he get on the line with a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, it's a done deal. They getting ready to get closed, and it's all because he's mastered his craft. That's what you have to do. You have to master your craft, whatever it is that you want to be the best in, whatever it is that you want to, really master down to the T. You have to study. You have to master it. Don't just listen to something one time and then be like, okay, yeah, I listened to it. No, you got to listen to it consistently. Like how you listen to your favorite songs on the radio, right? Whatever that may be. You have to dive into these type of trainings on different topics that you want to master. And that's something that Gerald's been doing. And like the closing ratio and the percentage is on an all-time high. So I hope y'all really taking heed of what he's saying. Because if you really apply this, you're going to see some results yourself. And then we need a testimony from you and say, man, what you shared really worked.
Right. And then you need to post it in the group and say that, hey, I implemented what y'all told me on this live and look what happened to me. We need to know these things, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. We here for y'all. But yeah, that's all
We
I
need
wanted
to
to
know.
share, man.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be great and master anything, you got to put the time in. Malcolm Gladwell wrote this book called The Outliers. He talks about the 10,000 hour rule. Like, you got to put in those 10,000 hours, whether that's studying your craft to implement the craft. 10,000 hours. So yeah, those are a couple of ways to be able to handle some of those objections. Let's see another objection that we get. Well, the money objection, right?
Yep.
Sounds good, really want to do it, but I don't have the money. So it's different ways you can handle money objections. For one, right, what you can always do, once again, is revert back to what they just told you on the call is causing them pain and the transformation and result they told you that they want to get, right? So, John, I could totally understand that money may be the issue, but you just told me on this call, right, that, right now, you're struggling in reference to being able to get any type of appointments on your calendar, be able to consistently land clients for your business, right? Your business is suffering, right? You're constantly working in the business. You don't have time to spend with your kids and your wife. So, John, tell me, is this something you're serious about being able to turn around in terms of this particular situation? Or if not, just let me know. That's perfectly fine. Where should we go from here, John? Right? So once again, you reverting back to, what they just told you on the call. I'm just using an example in terms of our particular industry. But you just reverting back to pretty much things they just told you on the call is causing them pain, their desired outcome, and asking them what's their level of commitment in terms of being able to really financially be able to make this work for them. Or if not, that's just perfectly fine, right? You're taking it away and then you put it back on them. Where should we go from here? Right? That's what you do there.
Yeah, make them make the decision. Make them to be able to make that choice.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another way you could come with the money objection is say, John, I perfectly understand in terms of you don't have the money. You know what, John? Around about 6 years or so ago, I was struggling in my business in terms of, being able to generate leads and get clients. My business was suffering. Like, it was suffering to the point I literally had to move back home with my parents. right? Probably was in a worse situation than you right now, John, right? But I just knew I had to make this work. And so I saw a guy online, was making a multiple six-figure income online annually for his business with a high school diploma. And I was like, if he could do it, I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I hopped on a call with him, and he did a call just similar to the one I'm doing with you right now, right? And he actually shared with me on how he can help me really ramp things up for my business and really be able to change things around in terms of my lifestyle. And he mentioned the price to me. I didn't have the money either. I borrowed it. And I got started. And literally 30 days later, I had my first $1,000 day online. A few months later, I started having $5,000 days online. Within a year, I made six figures and moved into a high-rise condo. And now, not only that, John, just because I learned these skill set of digital marketing, I've been able to help many of my clients over the last 5.5 years generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in their businesses as well online. What if, John, my story is your story over the next 60 days or less? What if? Right? So
Right.
Storytelling. Right?
They can see the vision.
Exactly. Or leveraging a client success story that may be relevant to the prospect that you're speaking to right now, that they can relate to, right? So if you have a client success story as well that can relate to the prospect, you can share that as well, which is, we do that all the time too.
Absolutely. That was some good stuff.
Where I sign up at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. So sharing stories.
Yeah.
And one other way in terms of the money, then we'll move on, is, John, I can understand in terms of you got a money situation right now. I understand it. But money aside, John, is this something you really want to do? Is this something you really committed to doing? Money aside, do you really like the idea? Yes, I love it. Just the money. Okay, John. So how can we make this a reality for you? Credit card? Can you potentially take out a loan, borrow the money? What would you do if you could come up with the money? Like, what is the way we can make that happen for you? All right, so that's another way.
It's not the lack of resources. It's being resourceful.
Exactly.
It's being resourceful.
Exactly.
Because we'll find a way. If it's something that we need and we want, we're gonna find a way.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. That's why it's very important on calls. You gotta really listen. Because when you're really paying close attention, you can always revert back what they're saying. And that also helps in closing the deal, being a great active listener.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times too, one thing that I have learned, just doing calls and, pre-qualifying people is like when you really listen, they end up telling you their problem. You just got to listen. So they're going to tell you the problems that they're going to have. And now when they reveal that, they pretty much already sold themselves because they already expressed to you what they're going through and what they're lacking. So now, if you know you can help them, provide a solution to get them from their current situation to their desired situation, bridge that gap together, help them get some type of results or transformation, seal the deal. Just apply what Gerald just shared with you all. This stuff works, man.
Absolutely.
I hope y'all getting some value. If y'all getting some value, make sure to drop some ones in the comments once again. Yeah. If not, y'all playing games.
Yeah, drop the ones in the comments.
Yeah, really just like show love on the video, hit some love, some likes.
Yeah, hit some loves. Because I see y'all still like, because it must be something that y'all really want to talk about because y'all still hanging on here.
Yeah, this is a little choppy, you all. We may do some role plays on here eventually. It's a little choppy, of course. I'm not talking on the phone. I'm just giving you all some case scenarios on how to handle it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, pretty much if y'all have any questions, anything, we can take it, and that's really it for now.
Absolutely.
Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Go ahead and drop your questions in the comments if you do have questions. What is the craziest objection that you've heard?
Yeah.
And ask, Gerald and Antonio, how do I handle this situation? Ask them. That's what I would do. If I was on here listening, I would be like, I heard this. What should I say about this? That's what I would do.
Yeah,
I
that's
asked a
definitely
lot
if
of
you all are
questions.
currently doing sales calls. I'm not sure how many people on here are doing sales calls at this
Yeah,
time.
that's true. It's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And then it's still good, even if you're not. It's still good, like if you looking to get into doing sales calls.
Right.
It's still good to know, how to navigate through that type
Mhm.
of things,
Exactly.
or how to increase the amount of sales calls you get. If you're not getting like too many, it's maybe a reason why.
Right. Yeah, if you're not getting too many leads in your pipeline, not staying full, then you have a lead generation problem. Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
Good
so they're not
point.
doing
I
sales
don't
calls.
do
Okay.
sales calls though. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was ish.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if you're not doing sales calls, that's fine. But it's good information for those, especially who have like coaching programs and stuff like that. Essential.
Yeah, if you got a coaching business, consulting
hmm
business, even some service-based businesses, of course, do calls.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people selling courses do calls. I mean, it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some high ticket service based businesses
Right.
do sales calls.
Yeah,
Most
most
definitely.
people that's selling like high
Mhm.
ticket type stuff, most of them do sales calls, like
Yeah.
high ticket type products and services.
Absolutely.
All right, people. No questions. Y'all don't have no questions, but that's all right though. I know y'all be watching that replay.
Yeah, if you watch the replay, hashtag replay. Also, if you all know any other people that could benefit from this group
Yeah.
and the content that we're dropping, feel free to invite them to the group as well. One other thing I want to say before we close out is, as you all hop on these lives, if you're getting value, post in the actual 1% CEOs Facebook group. Some of your takeaways, like we really want you all to contribute more to the group as well.
Yep.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, the only time I kind of see people like commenting on certain posts in the group and stuff is when they're promoting their products and services and stuff. I know Promo Wednesday today, Antonio dropped the post. Like, I mean, that's great. Promote your stuff on the days that we ask you all to promote it. But at the same time, contribute to the group. If you got something that you feel can be valuable to the group, I mean, our group is mostly covered around building businesses, right? We talk a lot about marketing and sales and building teams and just being successful in entrepreneurship, business, and life, right? You got anything that can be valuable to the group, like post it in the group, right? We're building community here. You never know, someone else may can learn something from something you post in the group and get value.
Exactly.
Yep. That's the secret.
I learn from our clients, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
At times, right? Because we share things amongst each other.
Exactly.
Just because we teach our clients a lot, yes, because we have a lot of experience, been doing this for years, but sometimes our clients share things with us.
Right.
That are working for their particular business that they may have learned somewhere else. Right? So you want to really create that type of environment and community. That's what we're looking to create here. So this info is going to help me in the future starting a consulting company. Okay, great stuff. If you're starting a consulting company, you're definitely gonna need this information. Yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm glad you hopped on and taking notes, because it's gonna be essential for when you start your consulting company.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
if you all get any results from implementing any of this stuff we share on any of the lives, right? This live, any of the other lives we've done, please post them in the 1% CEOs Facebook group, your wins. We'll love to hear from you. We'll love to celebrate your successes as well.
Exactly. We one big happy family.
Right. Ain't nobody else doing this, so we might as well do it. Again, I always say that all the time. But it's true though. Ain't nobody else doing it but us. So we
Yeah.
got to take the first step, the first initiative to get this type of information out there, because this is the little bits and pieces and components that a lot of people don't talk about,
Mm-hmm.
especially the gurus and stuff that be online about doing this and doing that. They never tell you about these little small tiny things. Oh, by the way, you have to be doing this too. But they never say that. They never say that. They might be talking about ads or whatnot, but yeah. But they never tell you you need to have your sales process tight. You need to make sure that you do this and this and this. Most people don't. They don't do that. They don't at all.
Cool.
All right, people. Y'all don't have any more questions? Then we gonna hop off of here. Don't be laughing at me. But it's true. It's true though. It's true. It is so true. But yeah, we gonna hop off, guys. But yeah, Gerald and Antonio, thank y'all so much for hopping on. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. And guys, like he say, make sure that y'all drop y'all takeaways in the group.
Yeah, and another thing I would
Mhm.
say too, if anybody is watching this live now, to anyone that watches the replay, if you want help with getting your sales process tight from end to end,
Mhm.
right, from qualifying prospects, even taking them through strategy sessions or full-fledged sales calls to really be able to convert those leads over to high-value clients. Because it's one thing to be able to generate leads, but if you're not really converting those leads over to high-value clients at large percentages, of course, it's difficult to hit your revenue and profit goals as a company. So if you need assistance with that, hands-on assistance, just comment sales in the comment section of this video, and one of us will reach out to you and see if we can set up a time to chat to see how we can potentially help you with it.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Good info.
Absolutely.
I hope y'all really taking notes on this. Yeah, y'all in sales at the bottom. And we will reach out to you guys to help y'all, because this is a community. We helping the
Absolutely.
people. That's what we do.
All right, someone just said sales, and that's the calendar as well. But if you put sales, yeah, we'll definitely reach out to you. Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good deal. Good deal. Well, fellas, thank you so much for hopping on. This has been an excellent live. I see that a lot of people got some value because they still hanging around on here with us.
Mhm.
And if y'all keep seeing me looking over here to the right, it's storming over here by my
Oh
office.
Lord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kept
Y'all
looking
better
out
be
the window.
careful
So if
over
y'all
there.
see me doing that during the live, it's like because it's like storming outside.
Oh my gosh.
Same here, bro.
Absolutely. No problem, y'all. No problem.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Anytime. We have to help the people. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, fellas. Thank y'all so much. And guys, we will see y'all on the next live.
Absolutely.
Take
Have
care,
a great
y'all.
one.